Welcome to the More For Me podcast by yours truly, Kat Necole. What up, homie? What's going on with you? Praying that all is well. Welcome to another episode in the books. It's official. Thank you for tuning in today. Whether you are watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast platform, it is an honor and a privilege to have you here in the studio with me today. Well, if this is your first time joining the homieship, I want to personally welcome and thank you for tuning in. If this is not your first time, you get that good old hearty welcome back. More for me is just an opportunity for me to connect with you, to share my experiences past and present as I focus on the more that God has for me in this life. But the great news is that God just doesn't want more for my life. He also wants more for your life. And when I say more, above anything like you could ever imagine, like your wildest dreams, God wants more for you in this life. And with that, I hope that you are encouraged as I expose you to what I've going through, what I'm dealing with present day and in the past, even things that I've been through and that I'm working through in this very moment now. But as I work through those things and share how I made it over, how I got through some strategies that I'm trying and tweaking here and there, I hope it helps you along your journey and that you will want to join the homieship or continue to ride this thing out as you accompany me on my journey and I accompany you on yours. That's basically it. That's what we do here. And so for this week, how could I forget? If you haven't, click that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. Make sure that this podcast comes for your eyes and ears every week. Tuesday, you get a new episode. So you want to make sure that you are signed up so that you can receive that. And I'd love for you to like, comment, share, rate, and review the podcast as well as episodes. If this episode blesses you, make sure you share it with somebody else. When you like and comment all the ways that I just mentioned, when you engage like that, it lets other people know that the More For Me podcast is available and that they can have an opportunity to indulge and journey with us as well. So in advance, thanks. I greatly appreciate it. Now, let's go ahead and jump into this week's episode. And what's on my heart today? So, we're still at the top of the year. Happy New Year. Woo. How long can you say that? I'm not sure if there's a statute of limitations on how long you can say Happy New Year into the new year. There appears to be no precedent in terms of present day, how long you can leave your Christmas lights up. Our next door neighbors, they still have their Christmas lights up. Now, a little bit they shine in our house, so that's a problem. But it's January 10th. Why are your Christmas lights not only still up, they are on? As a woman who considers herself to be a good steward of the things that God has blessed me with, I wonder, what do your pockets look like that you want to pay this additional electricity all of these months instead of cutting these lights off? And then, come on, just take down your Christmas lights. I digress. That is not what the episode is about, my neighbor and their Christmas lights. But I wish somebody would let them know. I'm not going to be that neighbor, but somebody tell them to take those lights down. Maybe the HOA will come by and leave them a little note or mail it to them to take down their lights. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about something that's near and dear to me, and that's complaining. I laugh because depending upon the nature of your relationship with me, for example, my husband, he would know this very well. I am no stranger to complaining. Like, I will complain about something. And so you have all these things that are going on in my life, around me, just in general, right? So we start at the hub of it all. It's like, man, right before I came to the studio to record, there was trash all around the garbage can in the primary bathroom. This means that my dog was trying to eat out the trash. So he's snooping, he's digging for what? I don't know. But every now and again, he goes on a little trip and it's called trash digging. And so that bothers me. Like, Five. My dog's name is Five. Five, stay out of the trash. And then he gets in trouble for it. And he has to go have a little time out by himself and think about his actions and what he did. That's something that comes up often. My kids, Running through the house. I complain about that. Stop running through the house. Put on your house shoes. Like, you're going to slip and hurt yourself. Complain about that. Man, my husband, hey, you left something out in the kitchen. This butter, you didn't let me know that you were trying to use it to cook something special. So I'll put it back in the fridge because who wants the butter to go bad? Gotta communicate. Something else to complain about. Hey, you know what? Not having grass at this house, because I don't know why our builder thought it was a great idea to put all this mulch out here. This mulch moves around. That's another thing to complain about. And the list just goes on and on and on. Complain about the weather. I can complain about the earthquakes in California. Just saw today, Texas is getting snow. Somebody's complaining about that. So, I mean, like literally just one thing after another that you can complain about. But this week, as I was kind of sitting in some of this, I was like, well, you know what? Really? Let's keep it real. What day was that? It was on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I had by the end of the day, and when I woke Thursday morning, I had just this immense feeling that Catherine Thompson, like I need to do something different. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today, is being the change. And sometimes you may have heard before, like, be the change that you want to see. I actually had on my Obama shirt the other day, and it had change on the back. That's from his first campaign. And like that was a part of what he ran on. And it's like, hey, let's be the change we want to see. But you know what? Like, I literally have to stop before I can say, let's be the change that we want to see, because the second part of that cliche is that you want to see. And it implies that you're seeing something. So like, what are we seeing? And then how can we bring about that change, right? Because sometimes, quite honestly, and that's just vision. Top of the year, everybody's talking about vision. Everybody's talking about vision. But what do you see different? What do you wish was versus what is? And so that's a great starting place of, before I can be the change, like what is it that I want to see? And so for me, if we even dissect some of the simple examples that I explained in terms of things that I can personally complain about, my dog eating out of the trash. Young 5 does this often. So for me in this situation, what does it really mean to be the change, right? Because we know that on this journey towards the destination of more that God has for each and every one of us, every situation that we face is an opportunity for us to become a better version of ourselves. And if I believe that and I live that out, then literally, what opportunity am I taking advantage of now to say, you know what? I don't want to daily or multiple times a day go around the house picking up trash when my dog is eating out of the garbage can. What do I want to see? I know that I don't want him eating out of the garbage can. Because he's 12 young years old, I also know that he's actually not going to stop this, because he hasn't in all these years. And he just does what he does. In dog years, he's the oldest person in this house. So he's like, I run it. I'm going to do what I want to do. So what can I do differently to change the outcome? Am I moving the trash can? Am I emptying the trash more frequently? Is it in a place that he can't reach? Whatever that may be. But now I can sit and analyze, what can Kat do differently to have an impact on what happens next time? What change can I help facilitate? And so, again, yet a simple thing with my children, these house shoes, especially my son. My daughter, apparently, she's like, I just kill house shoes. Give me house shoes. Oh, they're dead. I need some new house shoes. My son, he's basically like, I occasionally put these house shoes on, but I'm not really about this life. So we have all these trampoline socks, from the trampoline parks, where every different park you go to, you have to buy their special socks or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, he doesn't mind wearing those. So what am I going to do? I give him these trampoline socks to allow for him to wear them around the house. He is still protected and safe, and it accomplishes what I really saw in the first place, is for him to be safe and for his socks not to pick up any dirt that may be on the floor, for him to just be the house sweeper or the broom, if you will. But that I seize the opportunity to do something different, and I literally become the change that I want to see. Now, sometimes it's not that cut and dry. Like, hey, I can do something and I see a direct impact and change or immediate change in the thing that I was dissatisfied with, that I may have been complaining about, but in either way, that I was not pleased with. Sometimes that change really is just your perspective. We've talked a lot about perspective shifting in terms of how you view a certain thing, even looking at a situation that is displeasing and seeing it as an opportunity for you to improve versus something for you to despise, that nags you, or that you just complain about. So that perspective shift, we embrace in general here on More For Me. But you can also just in general say, you know what? I understand perspective shift. We'll continue down this path. I understand that I can only control me. So what can I do within my sphere of influence to create something better, a better picture? If I fade back to the events of this week, now I don't plan on running for any political role. And so on that level, like, that's not it. I'm not trying to run for the next president, the presidential election or anything like that. But what do I do in my daily life? What happens around me? Who am I every single day? And how does that positively impact and influence the world around me and the people around me? So that is what I began to see and feel and what I am embracing as we walk into 2021. And for me, I see this big picture. We talked about it last week, right? Big picture. Big picture. Got it in sight? Yep, I can see it. But now I need to take that big picture and I need to figure out what are the steps, what's my plan, what are the smaller bites that I can take in order to get to the point where I not only see the big picture, but it manifests, it comes to pass. And so for me, it starts right with me, right in the home. So I am doing things like, and I laugh because it's like, really? You want that big picture this small? Like, I need to make sure that I am getting rest. When I don't sleep, I'm not a nice person. So I need to make sure that I get the rest, the sleep that I need. I want to make sure that I'm working out because it gives me more energy and it makes me feel better. I want to make sure that I slow down on a day-to-day basis so that when I am in a moment, I can be in that moment and I can appreciate those moments. When I do that, it helps me with my communication. Sometimes I don't communicate or I don't communicate well because I'm rushing. So then I begin to change the interactions that I have with the people that I talk to. I'm sure my family will greatly appreciate this. Team Thompson all day. My husband, my son, my daughter, and maybe even my dog, right? Those are the people I talk to the most. We live together. That I can slow down, be present in the moment, and have better, healthier communication with those people. And these are things that I want to do consistently, that I can practice. So smaller bites, that literally I am becoming a better version of myself. That kindness is something that I focus on. One thing that I ask my kids every day after school, what did you do today that was kind? Now, this sometimes they have no answer. But by asking them this daily, it is encouraging them to exercise the muscle. One, to think about how I was kind, and then two, to start to look for ways that they can be kind to other people. Because at some point in time, even as a 3-year-old, you get tired of saying, I didn't do anything. There's so many opportunities for us to be kind to other people. The other thing that I'm going to focus on is being selfless, looking for opportunities to serve others. I can't be cat-centered. I want to be God-centered. And in order to be God-centered, that means that I look for opportunities to serve, not to be served. And those are just some of the things that I'm embracing to say, hey, on a day-to-day, these are things that I can do to start laying bricks, whether it's putting out the wood sticks and the rebar and all that stuff to lay the foundation, to pour the concrete, the cement, building a wall, laying bricks, whatever analogy you like to use, but it's literally laying the foundation that, hey, I want to be different. I'll be different and I'll be able to influence and impact those around me. And that thing will then there snowball. Now, of course, there are more impactful things that I can do to be the change, but I want to start with embracing the fact that instead of looking outward to expect there to be a difference, I want to look inward and say, what can I do? How can I change in order to accomplish the difference, the change that I want to see or that I feel should exist? Now, I don't have a full, vivid 4K picture of exactly what everything will look like. But I know for sure that when I look inward and begin to take ownership and responsibility of the role that I have, the influence that I have in order to make a difference in my life and the lives of other people and in this world as a whole, when I take that ownership, then I can definitely be the change. I can be a part of that change. And whether you look at it as a snowball, that it starts small and it gets big and it has an impact, or avalanche, it can be either one of those things. In either case, there is a difference and the impact is felt. So, homies, what do we have today? Let's start to look inwardly and know that we make a difference in our lives and in the lives of other people around us. And as we appreciate, accept, and take ownership of the influence that we are able to have in this world, in this life, even at this very moment, on this very day, that's when we begin to see a difference. And the work you put in will lead to that difference that you want to see. I don't just want it to be better for my grandchildren. I want things to be better for myself, for my children in this present day. And so I take a stand and I am going to be the change that I know is possible. So thank you for tuning in today. Whether you are on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform, I encourage you, please share this episode if it blessed you. Make sure you're subscribed and that you like and comment. I would love to hear back from you, whether or not you love to share how you're going to be the change and or what you think about the episode. Either way it goes, I love to hear from my homies. As always, remember, God has more for me. God has more for you. Now let's get it. Take care.